Well, all right, people. So today I want to talk about kind of a cultural issue here. Really a non-political video, kind of not, but college. So we always hear about the college experience, and I am so sick of hearing about this term, the college experience. I mean, what exactly is the college experience? To me, the college experience is paying thousands and thousands and sometimes tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars for this so-called college experience to go to an overpriced school, to pay to live at that overpriced school so that you could experience whatever the fuck the college experience is. And I'm not saying college is not important. I'm not saying you don't learn important things in certain majors at college, but there are so many additions to the actual degree, like living on campus, having a meal plan, uh, you know, all of these things that have nothing to do with the actual education whatsoever. And on top of that, there are so many worthless majors that you're not going to get a good job doing. You're going to get in debt, pay thousands and thousands of dollars to get a degree that you really don't have many options in. So, again, I'm not saying college is totally worthless. Like you can uh, do certain things like not live on campus, go to a small school or a community college, not go into massive amounts of debt, go into a degree that after 4 years you have a plan as to what job what's your job opportunities, what can I be doing during these 4 years to further my resume to get a good job once I do graduate from college. So there are legitimate reasons to go to college, but there's also a lot of bullshit you can get yourself into. I mean, is it really worth it getting a psychology degree or a gender studies degree or whatever degree you're going to get and going hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt? I mean, good luck buying a house and starting a family if you're already $100,000 in debt once you graduate college. And again, there's no reason why anybody should be living on campus. Like, what the fuck? I mean, that's just crazy to me that you would pay that amount of money to live on campus like that. I mean, I guess if your parents are fucking multimillionaires or billionaires and you got enough money, okay. But if you're gonna go into debt to live on campus, like, does that make any sense to you? Like for me, you should not go into debt unless you ultimately have to. Uh, like you look at your basic necessities in life, like food, water, shelter, clothing, transportation. Other than those like basic necessities, you should not be going into debt. I mean, live with your parents for those 4 years, build up some wealth, go to a small school. There's no reason why you got to go to Michigan or Missouri or Texas or these big time schools. Again, unless you have the money or you get a scholarship. By the way, it's a lot easier to get a scholarship going to a smaller school than it is a bigger school. And now all these colleges are doing like online classes, so that's great. You pay tens of thousands of dollars for an online education. And when you go to these colleges, by the way, you got to take all these general education classes, which are most of them are bullshit. So if you're getting a degree in, let's say, engineering, mechanical engineering, you probably got to take like an art class. And I got nothing against Mozart, but what does Mozart have to do with fucking engineering? Same thing with history. I like my U.S. history, but what does U.S. history have to do with engineering? Not much. Um, and these are the negatives of college. You get your degree, and probably most of those classes you took are going to have nothing to do with your actual job. And in many instances, I really do think the degree is just a degree. Like you really don't learn much in college. Um, like in my experience, you learn more at the job, that you're going to be at. Because a lot of times your major is pretty broad, meaning like, okay, you get this degree, but you got many different fields that you can go into. So you learn a lot on the job as opposed to at your degree. Um, so if you are getting a degree, I would encourage you while you are getting that degree to look at, okay, what jobs can I get while I'm in college, whether that's a part-time job, 30 hours a week, whatever you can do to further your skill set and your resume so that when you do get out of college, you can say, I have this degree, but on top of that, I have this experience doing this. These are my skills that I learned. And I do have a combination of education and on the job work experience because a lot of times you don't learn much um, uh, with just a degree. You learn some, but again, I really think on the job experience and actually doing the job is how you learn best. I mean, reading a textbook can be helpful with many things. Like if you're trying to become a doctor, like you just can't read about surgeries all day and then go right in and do a surgery. Like yeah, you have to read and learn about anatomy, learn about physiology, but you also have to actually do it and learn it and be hands-on, physical on the job. And I really feel it's the same way with all jobs. Like it's important to read books and learn the basics, but at the end of the day, you got to be on the job and learn it and learn what you're actually specifically gonna do. So I feel like a lot of jobs they list the major, oh, you have to have a major, a degree in this field, but it's really not relevant to what you're doing, or maybe a little bit relevant. Um, and I mean that's just kind of the culture we live in now that puts such a high emphasis on getting a degree. So again, a degree can help, but it's not the end all be all. And there's a lot of different things you could do besides go to college. I mean, you can work your way up. Like so, once you graduate college, I mean, you can get a job and really work your way up in a company. Work your way up in life. You can go to a trade school. I mean, there are so many things you could do, and to me, really, the most important thing is being smart with your money. So whether you're going to go to college, whether you're going to not go to college, um, is fine. Like, but you just got to be smart with your money. And like, even in America, you can make a pretty small amount of money, but if you're smart with your money and make smart financial and life decisions, I mean, you can make it in life. That's just the biggest thing. Whether you make $25,000, $50,000, or $300,000. The most important thing is how you spend that money. So you can make 30,000 or whatever, a small amount of money, but if you spend it right, you don't buy extravagant things, you don't go into debt, you don't pop out three babies when you're only making $30,000, then you can make it in life. Um, so I mean, you just have to be smart with your money, and if you're gonna go into debt, let's say you want to become a doctor, get your master's degree or doctorate or whatever the fuck it's called, and you want to go $250,000 in debt, like I've seen a lot of people do. I mean, that's a big risk. That's a big thing to do. So I'm no big fan of going into debt, but you have to have a plan in life. You have to have a plan. And I look at going into debt as a last case scenario, like a last thing to that you want to do. So if you're thinking about, oh, I want to become a doctor and go to college for 12 years, it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot. And I would probably like me, I'm just talking about me, like I would reconsider and say, okay, well, is there anything I could do for 4 years, so that I could graduate with no debt or a lot less debt and get out of debt faster once I do graduate. um and for people, like I think they just look at a major and, oh, what sounds good, oh, I'm just going to get my degree in math or get my degree in history or get my degree in psychology because, I have a passion for that. Okay, but is it, what are the job prospects? That's the most important thing. Um, and on top of that, the college experience is a lot about, again, they say the college experience, living on campus, right? That's a lot about partying, a lot about hooking up, a lot about, drinking and doing all these things that really are not healthy for you. Um, those are not things you want to be doing once you could do those things in college because you have no responsibilities. So in a way, college is unrealistic. You can do those things. You can get away with those things, but most people are going to have a family, going to meet a girl, going to meet a man, you know, and it's probably not a good idea to be going to parties, getting drunk, getting high, hooking up with people. I mean, shouldn't you be preparing yourself for, once you become more mature and have a family? Uh, but no, that type of behavior is pretty much encouraged in college, and that's what they really mean by the college experience. And they have all these groups you can join, which I mean is great. But when you're young, you want to be dedicating a big portion of your time to working, studying, furthering your career. So while it may be great to join the chess club or join this club or whatever I mean, you want to be learning. That's your first priority at college, is to learn. You're there to learn about your degree. You're there to get your major, not to fuck around. Furthermore, college is very, very, very left wing. I work at a university actually. I don't work for I work for a third party, but I've never seen at universities, especially the big ones, more crazy left wing, just radical people that work there. I mean, it's insane. And this is what I'm talking about, the extracurricular that happens at colleges, all extra, this extra shit. Like, you should be there to learn, but unfortunately, college indoctrinates kids with far left wing politics. I mean, that's just how it is. So, to sum up this video, college can be useful. There could be many useful things you learn at college. Um, but at the same time, it could also be a cancer. It could also get you in debt. It could also get you a degree, put you in debt, and you graduate and you really don't have too much you can do with that degree. So I just warn people to be careful. Really plan out your life. Don't just pick a major and waste $300,000 because it sounds fun or it sounds good or you're passionate about psychology. Like, no, look at, okay, once I get my bachelor's degree in psychology, what can I do with that? What kind of jobs could I get? So, I mean, this is a decision, college, that needs to be one of your biggest decisions, most thought out decisions. And you need to be looking down the path. I know a lot of people don't like to plan for their futures, but you got to be looking down the path 4 or 5 years later. Like, okay, this is my degree I'm picking, but in 4 or 5 years, this is where I want to be. And this is a realistic goal of what I can do. A job is not a passion. Okay. Um, I mean, I'm passionate about a lot of things, but just about every one of those things are not going to get me a job. A job is there to make you money so that you can get your basic necessities in life and hopefully have a little bit more money left over so that you can buy, a couple of extravagant things. A job is not there to be fun. It's not there to, give you an enjoyable time. That's why you get paid to do a job, because it's typically not fun to do. Um, so, you want to pick a career that can. I mean, that's the main point of a job, is to give you money to fund your life and to get you things so that you can buy things and the things that your family and yourself needs, not to be fun or to be a passion. I mean, if your job could do both, I mean, that's great, but chances are it's not. A job's not going to usually, it's not going to be fun and well paid. Okay. So that's all the wisdom the ruthless ranter has to give you guys today. So there you go, people. There's my thoughts on the so-called college experience.